I'm colorblind, yeah.
I'll take the wheel, how we feel, we were made for this. Leave you mountains still, make it real, make it dangerous.
Been colorblind for all my life, and they kept painting rainbows. I'm colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain. And you've been colorblind for all your life, too scared to even say so. We're colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain so. Colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. Sink down and emotions feel like I never did before. Live shows him and spoken reels of the movie I ignored. Blue skies on a broken sea, and I'm stuck up on the shore. I never thought you could see me, but you did. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah.
We could be the enemy and show them how it's done. Yeah, we could brand a new identity and tear apart the silence, make it grayscale. We love black and white scale, singing saints that the sinners believe and burn all that's in it. We'll take them out. We'll make them up for it and shout. Dream out the guns, I'll take the wheel, how we feel, we were made for this. Leave you mountains still, make it real, make it dangerous.
Been colorblind for all my life, and they kept painting rainbows. I'm colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain. And you've been colorblind for all your life, too scared to even say so. We're colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain so. blind. Yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're call is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're call is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, I feel it. You feel like a Jonas Brothers should come out? I wish.
It's all just
I'm
like
doing-
flashing lights and stuff.
I'm doing great, Flash. Thank you for asking. I hope you're well as well. I hope everybody's having a nice, relaxing week. Thank you, Melly, for the raid.
Thank you, Roy, for the good stuff. For this podcast that we do together. Oh my God, Tiff, you're my favorite.
Aw.
I'm even gonna spell it the way you spell it.
With the U?
You're gonna spell it with the U the correct way?
Disgusting.
Yeah, in my mind, I was spelling it with a U, and I just wanted you to know.
I'm gonna time you on. That's the wrong,
So, like,
that's
the most
wrong way to
difficult
spell
thing-
it.
The most difficult thing I have to deal with is the fact that Dishonored is spelled without the U.
I know. How does that make you feel when you're?
Oh my God, I was
you
literally
feel
gonna
like
like it. Because, like, it's a formal name, but also, like, I don't know why they did that. They're French. I don't see any reason to try to spell it the American way. Like,
To be correct. That's why.
Look who's here.
That's why they spelled it that way, to be correct. Without the U.
He is such a little guy.
Pepe is little, yeah.
He's so
Pepe's
little.
Pepe has his own card now.
That's true. Own card and own emote.
There's that. That's the.
yeah. That's the way it should have been done. Yeah, mistakes were made.
Oh, he just wants to.
Look at him. Look at
Oh,
you.
that's adorable.
Oh my God.
This is just a cuddling stream now.
Oh.
This is the most quiet I've seen Pepe in forever.
Hi,
Usually
Karen.
Pepe,
Karen, how are you?
Like screaming.
Hi, Tiff and Ash and Webcaster. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Hello, everyone.
I know. I brought the party.
Yeah,
We were having a party.
I'm surprised that one thing didn't happen. That happens like almost every time we start immediately.
What do you mean?
oh, God. Yeah. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Rory knows exactly what I'm talking about.
You know what? I've never done this before.
Oh, are you gonna do
Alright, Melly taking part in the proud tradition. Yes.
yeah, it is. I have a sword over there and a bow and arrow.
I have all these points. I don't know what to do with them.
And I have another one under my bed. And another sword. And I have another sword in the closet. Don't ask me why.
Oh my God.
Nothing like telling someone you have a lot of weapons in the home and then saying, don't ask why, though.
What's up, cool guy?
Bows over guns.
Hey, cool guy. It's good to
Hi,
see
cool
you.
guy.
Make your
It is
bad.
made. That's why we had the bed check.
No, okay. This was my discrepancy. My question is, if the pillow is not in place, does it count if the sheets are pulled?
That is the proper place for that pillow.
Rory does
Is that
not
how you
sleep,
sleep?
with that pillow under his head.
I sleep with one pillow, not two.
I
That
feel like-
pillow is for the guitar. That pillow is for
looks-
my guitar when I lay it on my bed.
I don't see a guitar on your bed.
You have a question in the chat.
Oh my gosh!
Which I don't know if is better or worse than the original question Tiff asked here, which was, do you know what husbando is?
Oh my
Oh
God.
god, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. They Karen, I have to say I'm not sort of especially disciplined with
We
in that
had to
regard.
train Rory because he wouldn't make it
In-
the longest time.
See, in my apartment, I sit on the stream like directly in front of the bed, so you can't tell if it's made or not, and everything on the bed is black, so it's like a total mystery. But like here, everyone can tell.
I will say I do appreciate that you have a pillow for your guitar, because I was taught that you need to really treat a guitar like it's a human being. So you would never put a guitar anywhere you wouldn't leave like a child.
Yes, I kind of agree with that actually.
Okay, don't leave it in a hot vehicle, you know.
It's rarely found out of its case actually. Like as soon as I'm finished playing, I always try to put it back in the case. But if I need to lay it on the bed for stream, like because if I'm streaming music on a certain day, it's also partly so like there's no interference with the tuners because I don't have locking tuners on that, so I don't want to like lay it on a surface and then at all risk about changing the tuning of the guitar.
But what about that lampshade?
Well,
They do make guitar stands.
it doesn't
I
matter.
don't have
Alright.
one. I do not have a guitar stand. Someday.
That's gonna be
Someday
there
I'll get
forever,
one.
and y'all.
Are you aware? Are you aware of this miraculous invention called a guitar stand?
I am, but I have 4 guitars and no stands for some reason. I don't know how
Well,
I
we
got
need to
myself
get you
in that
one of those.
situation.
You could do the one where you
don't
can, like,
even
hang it on
need
the
a
wall.
stand. Yeah, you just need the one that you like, like a.
Yeah, like the
rack,
wall
yeah,
ones.
just-
Yeah,
Hang
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
Those
wall
are
where
actually
my
really
keyblade
nice.
is?
Wait, Slump, you play the drums? I didn't know that. That's very. You must fix it. Are you talking about the lamp? I bet you that I bet you. I was gonna say I bet that lamp bothers Tiff.
I'm glad
Well,
someone else is getting shit on this damn
You're just
podcast.
gonna deal with it, right?
You're not even
I
gonna
don't
fix
ever
it for
use
Tiff?
that lamp. No, because
This
then I'm
is
gonna
a-
get up and walk
Wait,
around. I have to walk all the way around his bed.
Why are there 2 lamps in the same corner? That's what gets me.
The taller one is broken, and I haven't moved it and dumped it, and the other one I don't use.
Oh my god, 2 lamps! Oh my god!
That is so extra, Trev. You do not.
I don't use it. I don't use either one of those.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I've never seen either of those lamps actually on. So
Just
I
get
just
it.
Well, if I use them, it's like
Does
right
it-
before I go to
Trevor,
sleep.
does it bring you joy? If not, just let it go. Just let it go. Does it spark joy?
Does this spark joy?
I just have it there to bug people who would be offended by it,
the
Joy.
which apparently is
So-
working. Because
before we get into like news related things, we've all been playing and watching things recently, and I actually wanted to take a moment because me and Morgan just finished our watch of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which she had seen all of before and I had not.
Oh, like
Uh,
6 times.
I just wanted to take a moment to like give like a very quick retrospective because I was actually blown away because I've heard good things about Avatar for ages now. Like everyone loves it, right? But it totally lived up to every expectation I had, and the like lore and universe was actually really interesting, and I was fascinated. And as soon as it ended, I said to Morgan, I said, "Now we have to watch Korra." Like now I'm excited to watch Korra. Yeah, it actually really holds up actually, and has Zippy brought this up to me, and it's a really good point.
Well, one
It
second.
actually has like sort of like parables, I guess you could say. Like there's actual like lessons and like moral life
well, that's
things.
because it's a
for
show that
kids.
came out. What, like 8 years ago? So it was like made during the time period. where, like, people
Was
gave a shit.
more
not
than that,
8
more
years
than that.
ago. It came out in 2005.
Yeah. Okay. So like 10 years ago. Well, like 15 now, but
Oh, Trev.
I've never watched Avatar.
Highly recommend. It lives up to everything.
We could change
It,
that. I would not mind going through it again.
came out during the time period where like people gave a shit about shows and like there was like morals and stuff and like they'd learn stuff and then it evolved to like Teen Titans Go and that was depressing.
Oh boy, that's something. So please don't bring that up. I actually can remember where I was sitting in my house when I first watched like the very first episode when it premiered of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I remember where I was sitting on the couch in my house. And I never missed an episode ever. Like anytime there was a new episode, I always watched it. Every single time. I love that show.
Look, that's
Yeah,
perfect
it
math.
is perfect.
8 to 10 to 15, right? It was a guiding process. I was just like,
Yeah, exactly. Slowly adjusting to approximate a correct answer.
What I'm really hoping is what they'll end up doing is just going through the full circle of the series, and eventually do a series on an earthbending. It would have to be an earthbending avatar next, and then a firebending avatar again. That's what I'm hoping they'll do.
Gonna bring it back for something. I can't remember. There were like rumors for. I think it was
going to bed because you're old.
It was a continuation of.
Tiff, if you're old, then I'm old.
Yeah, are you guys the same age? Like,
we have to.
Oh, just about. Yeah, she's I think a little bit older.
We haven't had lunch in like 100 years.
Tiff is a responsible. She's a responsible adult. And
go to Kenmount.
Oh God. Actually, maybe. Like, to be honest. It was
also, good night, Tiff.
It was actually pretty fucking good. Yeah, good night, Tiff. Yeah, I was super. Well, I guess I hope for the same. Well, it was kind of like, you remember what I said about Kingdoms of Amalur when they made the remake? Like, me and Morgan both said, like, we hope that the remake generates enough hype for them to, like, do another series. Well, I hope. Yeah, well, I hope that it being now on streaming services in at least America and Canada could generate, like, enough. I know people have been hyping up the show up for years, but I'd like to think that maybe eventually they'll take notice and carry it on. Because it really... it's not rushed by any means, but there's just so much more to do in that, like, universe. Like, the show isn't really, like, utilitarian in its lore, where it's just, like, we're only going to tell the lore that's necessary. It gives a whole bunch of extra stuff. Like, that would be seemingly a very good starting point for any number of possible spin-offs.
Yeah, I really hope that they
hearing
end up with
myself and
something.
someone else's speakers.
Oh, is it? I mean, is it me? Could be me.
Am I coming out of your
I was
headphones or your
hearing you.
speakers?
No, I don't.
I don't think I
speakers.
hear it, so
Oh.
I don't think they'll hear it.
I have my volume cranked.
Just me and
up.
Morgan, then. Okay.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I wanted to ask the two of you. I don't think we've gotten to talk about this since you all watched it, but I was really curious about your thoughts on Totoro.
Yeah,
Neighbor Totoro.
it's my favorite one so far. And there's a couple reasons, actually.
Corrupt,
So,
we already did that, actually.
we already did it, Corrupt. The bet is made. Unless you take Tiff's opinion. But Tiff has gone to bed. So
She's old.
so we don't have to report her opinion. The background is me and Morgan have been watching Ghibli movies. I almost exclusively grew up with live action movies, and now Morgan is catching up on like some of the animated stuff I missed. So like all the Disney stuff, Pixar such stuff.
So to put in perspective, we actually watched our first one a long time ago. It's kind of nearing almost a year ago since we watched the first one. The first one we did.
It really
What
is.
was the first?
What was the first? Yeah, what was the first?
Our first Disney movie we watched was Brave.
But first Ghibli movie though.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ghibli.
No, because it's kind of getting near to a year because it's
the first
October.
Ghibli movie was in October. It was
Castle in the Sky. I let Rory pick because I bought
a great first choice.
Yeah, I brought a bunch of mine and I was like, okay, just pick one. And he's like, Castle in the Sky seems kind of cool, so we watched that one first.
Full disclosure, I've only ever seen one, and it was Spirited Away.
Well, Spirited Away is a good one, but you definitely need to watch more of them. So far, we have watched, in this order actually, is Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind, My Neighbor Totoro, and then we watched Princess Mononoke just very recently, and now we're going to do Kiki's Delivery Service next.
Yeah, that'll
Okay,
be on
I kind of want to hear the thoughts on both of those films.
And then speaking of, this is what came in the
oh,
book.
Kiki's, yay, the book.
So that was actually the first one we watched. Was actually the first time that like me and Morgan like met in person. Like that was the first time she came to visit me in London, and so.
Oh, can you hear it?
No, I can just see him.
Wait, so that was when you were at the apartment then, right?
Yeah, that was at my apartment. Yeah. And that one was really terrific. So that was my first one. So it was like that one was quite special to me. Yeah, Nausicaa was also really good. The thing that Totoro has that none of the other three I've seen have is that as much as I love lore, it really cuts that down. It's like the slimmest, if that makes sense, of the Ghibli films I've seen so far. It's
not a deep cut. It's like more surface level.
Yeah, it doesn't try to like throw a lot of details about the universe at you at all. Partially because it's the closest one to the actual universe we live in, and it instead focuses on like just like really like subtle stuff and just how like beautiful the scenery is in the movie and allowing you to get to know the characters as people. It's like it's a really sincere movie, and I love that. Like and there's just a few characters that they actually focus on. Like, there was a character at the beginning who I thought we were going to learn something about, and we learned nothing about that character. And I don't think that was a bad thing, because we didn't need to learn anything about that character. Like, it's just the main characters, and I think it's really focused, and I think I'm a sucker for movies that are really focused. It's one of the reasons I like Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight. Like, it's just, as much as The Dark Knight is... Oh, having a great night, Tater. It's good to see you.
When you said Batman Begins, I heard and understood you said Batman Begins, but I processed that as Batman Beyond.
Oh, which is also really good, to be sure.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like you were talking live action. I was like,
yeah.
I think like that, like what you said about Totoro. I feel like that movie, in some ways, it subverts so many expectations for like an animated film that appears to be like geared towards children. Mm-hmm. Like there isn't like a big bad, or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or it's like there isn't like a huge conflict. Like the strength of that movie rests so much on the simplicity of the story, and it does it in a very beautiful way, which is it's definitely one of my favorites.
Is Ghibli still doing movies like currently?
Trevor, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Is Ghibli still doing movies like currently?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Miyazaki pretty much every year says he's not doing a movie, and then he does another movie.
He goes into retirement.
Classic. That's a very classic.
He goes into retirement, and then he's just the kind of like creator that can't retire, you know?
Like, I think he said Ponyo was going to be his last movie, and then he's made like 4 or 5 other movies since then. All very good movies, and not all of them are Miyazaki. Some of them are from other people too. That have studied under him, and they're all part of Studio Ghibli as well. But one of my favorite things about the movie too is just now I know a lot of people have their own takes on it, because there's a lot of people to try to make it a lot darker than it is, and that's completely okay if like for those who want to like make into like a bit of a scarier story, like subtly. But one of the things I actually just like about it is that it's just this sweet little movie about these 2 sisters, you know, that meet with these like little forest spirits, and at one point they help the other one find the little sister. And I don't know, like I always really like really positive kind of movies like that. And I'm gonna be honest, like, so I hadn't watched the movie in a few years. It's my brother's one of his favorite movies. And even though we watched the because we've just been watching them in the English dub just to make it a little bit easier, but they're all the Disney English dub from like 2005 on, basically. So it wasn't even the one from the 90s that they had done, but I still really loved it, because this one has like Dakota Fanning in it. It was one of the newer ones. And I felt so dumb the other day because I showed it to my mom. I played the first song, like "Hey, Let's Go."
Hey, let's go. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. Yeah, I love that song. It's been stuck in my head for days now, though. And I showed it to my mom, and I was like, I wonder if my mom will recognize it. And I started playing it for her, and I don't know what happened to me, but I just like was overcome with emotion and just almost started crying, because in that very split second, I started thinking about how much my brother loves that movie. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to start crying. She's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. I was just thinking of JJ. But like my mom even remembered it because my brother would watch that movie on VHS all the time. And it's a movie that I have like a lot of really good memories of, that and Kiki's Delivery Service. Just because my brother loved them so much.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
But there is like such a such a nice simplicity about it, I guess, because like what you said, Melly, there's not like a big bad in it or anything. It's just these sisters, you know, and it's about them coming to a new town and living in this like little rural town, and it's just their little story about it, like exploring their house and exploring their backyard, and it's a really neat little show. Like if there's a lot of people out here who have not watched My Neighbor Totoro, like please watch it. It's so good.
The thing about it too, I'm not generally like there's a lot of things out there where, you know, like now people do a remake of something old, like right, like or like a reimagining, right? So they do like the live action Death Note movie and such sort of things, right? And I'm not generally like cynical about stuff like that. I mean, if it turns out to be bad, it's bad. But the thing I like about a movie like Totoro is it's definitively the final version of what it is. There is no more complete interpretation of that idea than this one that already exists. Like it would be like even the most like money hungry studio in the world couldn't think about remaking it when you look at it, because you couldn't do what it does better. Like even with modern production and modern animation and how far technology has come, like it is like a final version of what it is.
I actually think part of that too, though, is that I actually do think that there would definitely be studios out there that would want to try it, but Miyazaki would not let them do it, is the thing. He would say, no, absolutely
I
not.
assume he owns the rights and he'd just be like, no.
There's actually a really funny story that I was just telling Rory about a few days ago, too, with in terms of Hayao Miyazaki. So when they were doing, I think it was for Princess Mononoke. It was a long time ago now. I can't remember how long ago, but when they were doing the Western release for it, Harvey Weinstein actually wanted to cut things from it. He wanted to cut a few things from it, and then he also wanted the movie, because it's about 2 hours long, like a little more than 2 hours long, and he wanted it cut down to about 80 minutes, which is the kind of the normal-ish runtime of like an animated movie, especially like at that time too. And he wanted it cut down like big time, and so I mean, you guys have heard about like the stories about Harvey Weinstein. He basically kind of like threatened like to fire this one guy who was just a messenger, basically telling Miyazaki that he needs to cut this movie. Like, you get that guy to cut this movie, and he got real pissed off. And so Miyazaki sent him a freaking katana.
I do remember this story. Yeah.
With a note on it that said no cuts.
No cuts. Yeah. I love that story.
That's a pretty baller moon to send somebody a katana.
Right?
Note.
Well, that's a guy who's like not only successful but also just like supremely confident in his vision. Usually that doesn't fly, of course, because I mean that's why director's cuts exist, right? Is because they have the theatrical version of the director. But Miyazaki probably knows now. At the time, the specific case wouldn't have been relevant, but when Donnie Darko was first released in theater, a lot of critics didn't like it, and they changed their mind when they saw the director's cut, because the director understood something that the editor did not understand, which is that like cutting the scenes. And I've seen both cuts many times, but in the theatrical cut is genuinely a way worse movie. And so I would say that. Like, I'm not sure what the equivalent example Miyazaki would have seen was, but he's been in the industry long enough. He's seen an example of that, I'm sure. And it was probably like, nah, fuck that. Or like in a way that he would actually say it.
There's an interesting documentary that came out, I want to say it was a couple years ago, called Never Ending Man. Have you guys heard of this?
I have heard of this, actually, I think, yeah.
I think I know of it, yeah.
It basically chronicles Miyazaki's like first attempt into CGI animation, and it was a short film. I want to say it's called something it's about a caterpillar. I would say Boro the caterpillar. I can't quite remember the name of it, but it is only available to be viewed physically at the Ghibli Museum in Japan. So there's like, they might have released a cut of it at some point, but when it first released, like there was no other place you could watch it. Like it was just there. But the documentary is actually pretty interesting because it basically shows Miyazaki like trying to negotiate with CGI and like not really liking it, like the process. Because I mean, obviously everything he does has been hand drawn, and that's his craft. And so it was interesting, like watching him work with CGI animators that were trying to be like, isn't this cool how the AI can generate all these like.
Oh, I saw that clip actually, because I was looking for AI stuff and that came up.
Yeah.
That was actually super awkward. That was like. That clip is super uncomfortable. It's like 3 minutes of like the most awkward silence you've ever experienced.
Yeah, it's very cringe. But then ultimately, like, he made this 10-minute film that's like basically his first, film that uses CGI. So, sorry, my dog is crying.
I imagine isn't this cool? And then like him just like standing there like.
Look at him.
It's
Oh
literally-
my god.
They show him the AI thing, and he just like sits there, like you can tell he's pissed. Like he's quiet, like he's not saying anything, but he's pissed, and you can tell he's pissed. Like, and he's but in that sort of unique way that he expresses himself, like he manages his way around it. But
he was using like a figurative katana to be like.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
That's definitely a place though that I intend on going when I'm able to visit Japan.
Very excited for that. I look forward to COVID being over.
They did recently, so there's this, I don't know if you guys know, there's a rule there up until recently that, I mean, I think this rule is still in effect, but you can't actually take photos inside the Ghibli Museum.
I do know that one. Mm-hmm.
But because of COVID, I think they allowed a virtual tour, so there's a virtual tour now, but there has never been
Oh, right, yeah.
a virtual tour up until recently. They just made it available because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was because Miyazaki just basically wanted to preserve the experience, so it's like, so children are interacting with their parents and not having like phones,
just taking pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I thought that was actually kind of cool. That's like one of the few places I think
that's
I think it's a good idea. There should be more places like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that I like a lot about Miyazaki, because that's one of the things that he's even talked about, like why because he's been asked before, like, how come so many of your films have female protagonists? And one of the reasons he said was because a lot of young girls watch these movies, and he wants them to have like a hero, basically. And he just wants to tell stories also. Like, that's one of the other things I remember reading, is that he wants to tell really interesting stories, and sometimes those stories just end up having a main female character.
I agree. I think it's unfortunate when I read things like on the internet when people are like, oh, like they're putting a female main character in this for whatever diversity reasons and it's going to interfere with the story. I'm like, no, it won't. It really won't. If you're worried about things interfering with a story in a movie, then you have bigger fish to fry. Because like there's a lot of things in a studio that could interfere with a story, including like money and producers and countless things. His attitude is very much
cutting content that should have been
editing down content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually the same attitude that Arcane. I don't know if you remember, Morgan, from the Arcane documentary, but that was one of the things they said about why they made it possible to play a female protagonist in Dishonored 2. Was because they found out, like, I guess they did some demographic research, and they found out that a lot of the players of Dishonored 1 were female, and they wanted them to be able to play as a female character, which I thought was a great move. And as you know, I think that playing as Emily in that game is actually the better way to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot to mention, I don't know if it's still on sale, but GOG is having a sale. You can pick up Dishonored there.
Yeah, they're having a sale on all French games, so you can also pick up A Plague Tale: Innocence for very cheap, which is Morgan.
Yeah, that's a game that I like a lot.
I don't know if they're still having the sale or not. Let me check.
Yeah, I know you posted that link.
I'm about to launch GOG right now as well.
They are.
Everybody comes up with.
I always get my shopping done.
Did you ever play that one now? Because I can't remember if you ever got it, A Plague Tale.
No, I didn't, and I was actually super interested in playing it, and then it just like got pushed to the wayside. Also, I mean, I never bought it.
Like what?
No, he's now online on GOG.
There's Sugar Melon. Should I get on GOG now?
Don't worry about
it's
me.
Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Podon is right as well. Podon is right as well if you have Xbox Game Pass.
It's also a card.
Aww.
Thank you so much. I love that picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. The sale is going on for 4 more days, actually. So you've got plenty of time to pick up some really cool French games, including Dishonored, Plague Tale, Styx is there.
Originally, when you said French games, like I thought you meant like the game had to be installed in French or whatever, and it was like that was the only language, and then I realized you were talking about like a studio, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Only $15.29. Huh.
There's a lot of good stuff on there. They actually got away with having Far Cry 1 and 2 on there as well. The reason for even Far Cry 1 is actually made by Crytek, who are definitely not French, but is published by Ubisoft, who definitely is French.
Was it done by their Montreal?
Just their publishing arm, because their publishing arm is based in France.
Oh, okay.
I think actually that they may have also worked on it a little bit with Crytek, but they're like central Ubisoft offices in France. So why do you all hate Outer Worlds?
Rory has streamed Outer Worlds. What do you mean?
I like Outer
What do you
Worlds.
want
Yeah. I mean, I've never played Outer Worlds, but it seems fine.
Maybe Ice is upset that I didn't finish it on stream.
But did you finish it?
No, I didn't. I think I streamed it.
Do you know who you're talking to?
We did a few streams, but ouch.
Yeah, I think Rory did I think he did at least 3 streams of it, but he mostly also said that when he kind of wants to finish it on his own also.
Yeah.
It's like one of those games that he's just really enjoyed.
Stream it to you, Ice? Just me and you chilling while I finish Outer Worlds.
It's just an exclusive stream.
As part of your schedule, do you still have... I don't think you do anymore. Because, I remember you used to do, your weekdays were, stealth games, and then, your weekend was, your off
So it's
day.
changed. So now Tuesdays are stealth games, and Thursdays and Saturdays are co-op, and then Saturday is also stealth, depending on when me and Tiff finish up, basically. But yeah, it used to be Tuesday, Thursday were stealth, and then weekend co-op. But yeah, not less so anymore. And part of it also was that me stopping Shadwen because I couldn't anymore with that game. I just couldn't stand the AI.
Well played, Ice Dragon. Well played.
Yeah, I give it up to that.
Rory's the only one who owns it.
I am the only.
I mean, if we all get Xbox Game Pass, then all of us can play it. $5 a month.
Oh, you always miss Rory's stream now because your kids go to bed later.
Oh, Podon. I miss you too, Podon. They
Just do what Karen does and stay up at wild times.
Oh my god. What was it? Karen, didn't you go to bed at 7 a.m. yesterday or something?
It was I think it was 10 a.m. or something. It was 11 almost.
Oh.
Let's not talk
about it.
I still don't understand Karen's sleep schedule.
I don't either.
So that's what we've been watching lately in terms of TV.
Karen's sleep schedule?
Watching TV all the time. No, Avatar and the Ghibli movies. Melly Trev, what are you watching and or playing lately?
Okay, let's start with watching because then we can.
Right.
I can zag.
You just did Westworld, right?
Yeah, I'm on season 3. I'm on season 3 of Westworld. It is a mind trip. I'm not.
I've seen season 1. What happens to it? Does it get worse really fast? Should I be scared?
No, I feel like I can't. I'm trying to frame it in a way that's not going to spoil it for anybody because I don't actually know. I feel like I know most people that have watched Westworld have not made it to season 3 yet.
I've seen advertisement for it, but unlike
I have never watched it actually. My brother really likes it.
Amazon Prime, I did not watch it.
Is it on Amazon Prime?
No, I was doing an ad for it.
It's on HBO. It's
okay,
HBO.
I was gonna say, I could have sworn this was on HBO.
Answers Aaron's question as well. What genre is Westworld? It's HBO.
That's kind of it actually. That's a good way of putting it.
It's science fiction drama, but heavier on the drama and lighter on the
fall apart in the last season.
Yeah, when it comes to HBO, so many of those shows are very heavy on the drama. Think of because I know Game of Thrones, but Deadwood was also HBO, wasn't it?
Game of Thrones is also HBO. Yeah.
Dexter
think about it like that.
It's almost. And Melly can correct me if she
was also
You slept with my husband type of drama. How about you slept with my husband and then you stabbed him in the gut? Kind of.
No, it's not why. It's not like you slept with my husband. It's like I slept with my sibling. That's HBO.
Oh yeah, that's actually a better.
Westworld is it's science fiction kind of only in that it's set in another technology time. It's barely science fiction in some ways. It doesn't do much with the sci-fi.
Let me explain what Westworld Let me explain what Westworld is. So, like, Westworld, like, this is a pretty well-known scenario, so I don't think it's spoiling too much. But Westworld is a theme park. So, Westworld is like a theme park in which there's like androids or robots called hosts, where they look, sound, look like real people.
It sounds like Detroit Become Human.
But it's set like in Western times. So basically what happens is like rich people can pay a lot of money to go into this theme park and behave and act like they're in the Wild West. So they can like they can shoot and like if you, as long as you're shooting the host, like they're not real people. So like you can get in a gunfight with like, you know, bandits or like Native Americans or like whatever, and it's basically like a way that you can kind of get out those like impulses, but in like a controlled environment. But so that's like the premise of what Westworld is, and then obviously like things start to go awry, and you know it's never good when you have robots. Well, this is sci-fi, right? So
yeah,
anytime robots are involved, something's bound. Like
be iRobot all over again.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's a great way to put it. Actually, Red Dead Redemption. Interesting you brought that up, because the creators of the show, Jonathan Nolan, who's has a famous brother, and his wife Lisa Joy, they are actually huge Red Dead Redemption fans, and so that game heavily influenced like their conception of the show, which is actually based on a movie from I think the 70s. So Westworld, the movie came out in the 70s, right. And then the show was kind of like revamped, to kind of to reflect modern times, but it drew inspiration from that. Wasn't that a Michael Crichton book? Was it? Is a book?
I might.
The only Michael Crichton book I know is Jurassic Park.
Also, it's also another disastrous theme park story.
Yeah,
not true. Not to divert Melly, but have you seen Dollhouse before?
No, that's another Joss that I should. That's
okay.
Again, yeah,
because that's like a vaguely similar premise, except in that you rent out robots. Except they're not robots; they're people who've had their memories wiped.
Dollhouse.
Whoa, Zippy's freaking out. Zippy likes Dollhouse.
Hi, Zippy.
Hey, Zippy, how are you?
Thanks, Karen. Yeah. So I don't. That's basically the premise of the show, and then every progressive season there's been like deeper and deeper layers to the theme park, essentially. So season 3 looks nothing like season 1, honestly, at this point. But yeah, it's been very interesting so far. But again, I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen season 1 and 2. I hear shows never get. I will say, okay, for those of I will say this about season 2. I think season 2 has
Avatar question.
At least maybe two or three of some of the best television single episodes I've ever seen. Like it reminded me of like the best episodes of Lost. I think season 2 it gets very convoluted and there's a lot that happens, so it's like a little up and down. But that season 2 has like some of the best episodes of television, I think. Oh yeah, we will have Rory's gonna famously defend Angel's honor. Just is crazy pulled. Yeah.
We've been watching Angel actually, and I've been enjoying it very much.
Yeah, we're almost done season 1. Me and Morgan actually.
Did you pass the host alert scene, or was that in?
Not yet. No.
Oh, okay.
I will know when we do that.
Yeah, Morgan's seen that host alert so many times now.
Oh, or you okay? We're talking about what we're playing. Oh, what I'm playing. Sorry, I just finished Dead Space 2. That was
right. And you finished Fallen Order, right?
I finished Jedi Fallen Order. This is the week of me finishing things. I finished Diablo 3. God, I didn't realize I finished that many games this week. But yeah, I did Space 2. So.
And then didn't you finish Diablo last week or whatever?
Yeah. But we were playing on baby mode, so it was more of just like a relaxing stroll. We didn't really challenge ourselves. It was just it was like a chill Diablo run for sure.
So besides...
Oh, go ahead, Morgan.
No, please finish.
No, you go.
No.
Okay, I'll go, and then Morgan will go. I feel like Diablo 3 is a bit like Monster Hunter, in that once you've beaten it, you're not done.
No,
if that makes sense.
And I
Like,
basically just unlocked the first level.
yeah, there's just so much more stuff. Yeah, beating it is almost what you do before you start playing it.
I basically just did we basically just did the tutorial, and then now we can unlock other things.
And now you can play it on your
adventure
phone
mode.
because everyone has phones.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
exactly.
What were you gonna ask, Morgan?
So I know. So you finished Jedi Fallen Order, Mel. So you're gonna keep playing Dead Space, I'm positive, right? Because you haven't beaten that yet.
I beat Dead Space and Dead Space 1 and 2. But
Oh, you did?
playing...
Oh, you did beat Dead Space 2. Okay.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's what
cool,
I'm saying.
wow.
I beat 3 games this week: Dead Space 2, Diablo 3, and then Jedi Fallen Order. So.
So what are you gonna play next? Are you gonna do Dead Space 3, or
Yeah,
gonna wait a
that's
little bit?
No, that's the plan. I think the next time we have a co-op Friday, Ash and I are gonna dive into Dead Space 3. So that'll. Be
So that'll be on Fridays then.
Yeah, but not this Friday. I don't think this Friday because Ghost of Tsushima is coming out, and we're both gonna be playing that.
So you're gonna do the Ghost of Tsushima on stream? Do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, cool. Okay.
For sure. Do you play as
I think when we played, because we've played Monster Hunter on stream before, I think everyone was using a female character.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I just prefer female characters. I don't know.
I am absolutely buying it, Karen. It's gonna be the last PS4 game I buy.
I'm going to get it, but
like 2 days
I'm
ago.
actually going. Yeah, I'm actually going to. I actually do have it technically pre-ordered at a GameStop, but I have not gone to GameStop in months. So I'm actually going to see if I can find, like, because right now they're all sold out, but this happens all the time with collector's editions when they are about to like release. So I'm going to be watching like on Amazon and stuff to see if I can pick up a collector's edition, because the same thing happened with The Last of Us Part 2. That's how I got mine on Amazon. And the same thing actually happened with Persona 5 Royal.
Hopefully that
where
happens
like,
with King of the Realm more, because I really want that statue.
yeah, Rory and I got ours already, so we at least got them locked in.
I'm so excited for that. Even with the delay, I'm just like, okay, there's a short delay. I don't mind. I'm just really excited for that collector's edition.
Oh, really, Ice? I'm glad that everybody likes that redemption. I mean, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I like to get. I mean, not one of the reasons why now, but like that's one of the reasons why I like having my stuff up now too, because people can ask to see it. So I really hope I'm able to get the collector's edition for Ghost of Tsushima. I hadn't thought about it for some reason, so I completely forgot about it. So I'm hoping I can find it.
The collectors. I'm assuming it's a statue, steelbook, art book, and then.
It's not a statue. It's kind of a statue, but like, so you see, like, there's like the mask right up there of my my Persona 1. It's gonna be the bottom part of his mask. It comes with that. Let me see. 1 second. It comes with the mask. I think it also comes with like some DLC and stuff.
I remember seeing it and thinking, this isn't like a collector's edition I'm super hyped for. And I would have gotten the Steelbook one, but I don't think the Steelbook one was as cool as Sekiro's, because Sekiro's on the front is like really nice, and on this one I think it's just like
it is really
the
detailed.
name and then like grid patterns or something.
This one comes with some DLC stuff. Comes with an art book. Here, let me actually get it up on like Amazon or something, because this one is like really not good looking.
Yeah, I think it's the bottom part.
Yeah, it is the bottom part of it. I do know that. Let me see here. Here it is.
I've seen
it comes with the mask. It comes with the mask. Oh, really? I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen anything besides just the state of play that we saw.
The
so
title
it comes
screen
with.
looks very Neo-esque and Sekiro-esque.
I really hope it's. I mean, because it's Sucker Punch, so I'm hoping it's not going to be like deathly, terribly hard.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably more
It's
like.
gonna be leaning more to Neo than it is Sekiro, definitely.
I would expect like high mobility and fun gameplay from Sucker Punch. That's basically what I always sort of predict from them.
So this one comes with a steelbook, a cloth map of the island, a war banner, that's kind of cool, a wrapping cloth, the Sakai mask, which is the mask, and it comes with a stand, and it's a mini art book by Dark Horse, which Dark Horse does pretty much all of these, at least for.
They were big on comics at one point. I think they still are.
That mask
Yeah.
is really cool.
The mask is really cool looking, and then it comes with it comes with a theme, and I love those. It comes with, and then a few in-game items, and a director's commentary roundtable discussion. That's part of the downloadable content. That's kind of cool.
Because I know I used to own a bunch of Star Wars comics when I was younger, and they're all done by Dark Horse.
Yeah, Dark Horse does a lot with comics, and then quite a few of some of the art books that I have here for some of my PlayStation ones, like my PlayStation exclusive games, are all by Dark Horse as well. My Last of Us one is, my Art of Uncharted one is, my Uncharted 4 one, Spider-Man, I think the Last of Us Part 2 one, pretty much all of them.
It comes with a bottle of marmalade.
Hi,
Dan,
Sam.
how are you?
But yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty cool, and I don't know why. I think it completely slipped my mind. So I'm hoping come Friday we're gonna see like maybe a few available in some places, because that's exactly what I did with The Last of Us Part 2. Like literally, like I bought it the day that it came out.
You can always count on people like forgetting and like canceling or whatever.
That's the thing, because some people will just cancel it. That absolutely happens. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I don't get that, but I'll see if I can get it. Maybe. I'm hoping. I love collector stuff, so.
Usually, if like there's a cool collector's edition I see, I'll like pre-order it right away. And that one I saw, and I was like, That's...
Usually I do too, but when it comes with COVID and everything, it's made it a little bit more difficult. Because when it comes to those, I actually do like to pre-order them in store.
Yeah.
Because I can just put down like $50 on it or 25 or whatever it is, and then just wait until the game comes out, and then I can go pick it up. And then I have it the day that it comes out. Most of the time, when it comes to these, I've had Story of Seasons pre-ordered for a good few months. I mean, that's not even COVID started 3 years ago. Hi, Tony. But I've had that one pre-ordered for like a few months now, and even that doesn't stop like Amazon from shipping it out like 2 days after it comes out, because it came out yesterday, and I'm not getting it until tomorrow, which is not a huge problem, but you don't get it on release day at most times.
I hope mine's coming on Friday, because like I ordered it on Amazon, and it's saying like August 14th to the 31st. I'm like,
yeah,
that's
so
such a huge time.
that's the only caveat. Like,
Oh, God. Yeah, that's rough.
I was like,
that's kind of,
that's not even the same month it comes out. I was like,
I'm getting into collector's editions only now. Like, I'm very much a latecomer because I've been PC like digital for so long. But like one of the things that's interested me about collector's editions is like how much like stress there is when the collector's edition first comes out, and I'm like, okay, like when Kingdoms of Amalur, like trying to figure out like what site was going to ship to Canada and stuff like that. Fun story, I never did figure that out, so it's just shipping to Morgan, then she's shipping it to me. But like, yeah, there's like, it's like a big rush because I assume everybody is clicking the same link I'm clicking, so I'm like, okay, I need to get this ordered like right now.
Tiff had that same problem, because when Spider-Man came out, like she's like a huge Spider-Man fan, and I was like, she was like, wait, that link doesn't work for Canada. I was like, oh. I was like, here. And I was like, this one should work. And I was like, that's not available yet. And I was like, alright, well, you better be on it. Because that was like the fastest selling out collector's edition, I think.
That's true. Trev refuses to get a Switch.
I don't need a Switch.
yeah, you absolutely should get a Switch.
What do I need a Switch for?
Trev is like anti-Nintendo.
Mario Kart, pretty much anything. Smash Bros. Stardew Valley.
Breath of the Wild.
Look, I'm gonna pull a Tony
Devil
here.
May Cry.
I'm gonna pull a Tony here and say I don't play party games. Real cool guy says
That's
It's a
good use of
fighting
that
game.
theme, actually.
Smash is a fighting game, though. You could play Smash.
Yeah, and Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to have to like grind out Monster Hunter again.
Really?
Oh my god.
I already had to do it twice.
What's one more time, Trevor?
No.
The Skyrim thing all over again, except this time Trev's doing it to himself instead of Todd doing it to all of us.
I almost want to be surprised by this. because the collector's edition for The Last of Us Part 2 is actually still available, even though it's been like almost a month since it came out. I'm not that surprised though, just because of how much controversy was surrounding that game.
Yeah, I can
Like,
see that.
people went nuts.
People were just like raging and like selling it or returning it or whatever.
Not the Ellie edition though. I was really hoping I could maybe find an Ellie edition somewhere, because I really wanted Mel and Ash to get that.
Do you even feel an urge to replay Last of Us 2 anymore? Absolutely. I am going to be doing a Survivor Plus playthrough. It's just a matter of when. I actually almost did that tonight, but I decided to do Monster Hunter World instead. I almost feel like I needed another pass through that game to like reconcile how I actually feel about it. I just my feelings towards the game are very complicated, and I almost feel like a second go at it would help me like cement some feelings about it.
Just talking about this too.
I needed a break. That's what it was. I needed a break, Karen. It was it was a harrowing game to play. It took an emotional toll on me. I needed a break from it, but I'll be ready to revisit it.
I'm decent enough at fighting.
Well, and honestly, a lot of what you had been doing too for a little while, like with Final Fantasy, was you played all the way through Final Fantasy, and then you played all the way through it again. On a hard difficulty. So I'm sure you probably like, even though you loved The Last of Us Part 2, like I'm sure you want to get through some of your other games too, because you don't want to get really burned out on it either.
Well, like, part of it too is like because the game has been so polarizing. There's been so much dialogue and conversations, and I've been like listening to podcasts, and like I just was oversaturated with it, and so I kind of needed a mental break from even talking about it. Regular. It's been what 3 or 4 weeks now. So I think I
it's
feel
almost
like,
been a month, I think.
Yeah, I feel like some of the saturation has like calmed down a little bit.
So yeah,
I'll be ready to kind of like jump. I feel like once Ghost of Tsushima's done, like I'll definitely be ready to.
Oh, speaking of Final Fantasy and collector's editions, one of my coworkers actually has like the super, to quote Rory, super pimps only edition of the Final Fantasy VII remake edition. He got the one with the motorcycle statue.
Oh,
See,
damn.
the thing about that is that it's not even a collector's edition, because you can actually get that separately. Like, that was the issue that I actually had with that collector's edition, because the unfortunate thing with some Square Enix ones lately is that it's not an actual collector's edition. It's just the deluxe edition plus a Bring Arts or a Play Arts Kai statue, and I really wish they wouldn't do that, because that's like the thing that I like about collector's editions, Like, there's a reason why it's a collector's edition.
Yeah.
But that thing's massive. I saw that at PAX actually.
He told me he was like I thought he was gonna be like, oh yeah, I was like this. He was like this below and heavy as shell.
No,
like,
the Play Arts Kai figures. So like you guys can see some of the figures that I have up here. So like here and here are Sora and Kairi Bring Arts figures, and they're about like that big, maybe a little bit taller for Sora, but like they're about that big. And the Play Arts Kai ones, I've seen them, like they're actually they're like this big. Like they're huge. And like they do all sorts of stuff, but like they're huge. They're also very expensive. I'd love to have at least one someday of just like a character, because the thing about the Play Arts Kai ones are that they are also extremely detailed. So like there's one of Tifa and Aerith that I want very bad, and then if I get Tifa and Aerith, I'll want the rest of them. So that's my dilemma.
Cycle. You have one, and they're like, I need them all now.
I'm like, I need all of them now, so it's all cohesive.
One thing I will say that is frustrating sometimes about collector's editions and deluxe editions is like Ubisoft at one point, they were releasing something that they needed like a literal like spreadsheet to keep track of what rewards came with what edition of the game. I think it was like one of the Watch Dogs games or something. They like released this big infographic. I'm like, okay, if we need an infographic this big, there's too many editions of this game. Because then there's like, if you get it, of course, at Walmart, you get some sort of such thing with it. If you get it at GameStop, you get some other such thing with it.
Well, that's like the meme. I don't know if you've seen it, where it's like games back then, and it was like, it's a burger, and it's like everything comes with it. And then games nowadays is like you buy the game, and then like every part of the burger is like a separate thing, like DLC, and like this is Best Buy exclusive. This is GameStop exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It gets complicated quick. That's what happened with the original Fortnite, right? Yeah. Yeah, the original, because that's one of my friends, I was saying the other day to Morgan, one of my friends, he does not play Fortnite, and the reason he doesn't play is because he's upset, because Fortnite was originally supposed to be like a survival game where you like build to survive, and
that's why I was just telling Rory about this, because that's why they called it Fortnite. Like, I can remember talking to one of my coworkers about it at the time. It was a long time ago, because it was Fortnite. It was supposed to be that you built a fort and then you'd survive for 2 weeks. So it's Fortnite.
It literally
Fortnite 2 weeks.
double entendre, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was supposed to be the whole point of it, and then they just completely didn't do it.
And then they did another thing. Now, mind you, like I don't play Fortnite. As
I don't think any of us
will know. I don't think any of us really do. But Morgan has a number of times. Yeah.
So you
but
like that guy who came to your channel?
I will say.
I said I don't play it.
You don't
he
stream.
didn't ask me, did you ever play it?
Oh.
I don't currently play it.
But
Because I think it had been like a year since I had actually played Fortnite.
I believe at the time, at least when it was released, like Fortnite had better netcode than the other battle royales that were out at the time, and people had a generally better technical experience with it. So I was glad for it for that, because I think if you like something, you know, you deserve, for every audience, there deserves to be a good netcode version of the thing they like. And so for the battle royale audience, I want them to have a good netcode version of the thing they like.
So since we were speaking about like wanting the whole sets of everything and like spending on them, so I bought these socks that were like, they're Power Ranger socks, right? And I bought 2 originally, and then after that I was like, I need all of them, so I bought all of them, and I spent like way too much money. I was like, I shouldn't have bought all of these.
Well, because like I have all of the Animal Crossing amiibo except for one, and that's the only one that I need. But like I absolutely can be that way with things. Like I see like all of these like other well, because like I got some of my little figures up there, right? And I'm like, oh, I got the cool I don't know, Joker from Persona 5, right? I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool if I had on, and then I got on, and I was like, you know, it'd be really cool if I got Yusuke, and so I got Yusuke, and I almost have all of them. But like, cause it's cool, you know, like when you have all of them kind of sitting up in a row next to each other and everything. And with the Play Arts Kai ones, like those are like $150 each. Some of them are even more. So yeah, it can be a difficult time for collectors.
Well, I think Tony knows about these because like I can't remember what they're called. I think they're called the Mastercraft editions of the Gundam figures, I guess. The ones that
Tony's here. We could probably ask him. Tony, tell us.
Yeah,
Hey,
are they
Tony.
called like Mastercraft editions? I forget the name. They're ones that like are like decently sized, and yeah, there's multiple grades. But like I was gonna collect those back in the day, and I was sitting there, I was like, nah. I was like, these are too expensive. It's an expensive ass hobby.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, like one of the things about me with like wanting to get collector's editions is it's kind of it really is kind of like a coin toss at times, I guess, because you really don't know like what it's going to be like, because it could either be a collector's edition, and it's not like I worry about like if it's going to be like well sought after or something like that, but one of the things that you never like to see is when you get it like an expensive edition of something, and then like I don't know, like a month or 2 later, it's like half off somewhere. It's like, oh, I could have, if I had waited, maybe I could have gotten that for a lot cheaper. But then the other side of it is if you don't get it right away, then everybody will get them, and then the price will never go back down. So like for example, right now, because the collector's edition of Last of Us Part 2 is still up, right? Like you can still get it like through Amazon. It's a legit one. But I'm looking at these right now. The Horizon Zero Dawn collector's edition was originally $119, like about $120, and on Amazon it's selling for $249. And the Stonemasons edition, which this is both, I have both of these editions of Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War. The Stonemason edition of that is it was originally like I think $169, $149 maybe, and it's $269 now on Amazon.
I was really upset I didn't get the collectors for God of War.
I was happy that I did. Like,
I think
it's
I
actually
got it digitally, actually.
right
I also
there.
got the God of War digitally, actually.
Very upset, and I was like, I should just got the whatchamacallit.
The statue is really cool. It came with a ring too that was way too big for my hand. But it was pretty. But that's the one thing though that I get a little bit upset about at times, because it's like, do I want to get this now, you know, or should I wait? But if I wait, I might not be able to get it at all, unless I want to spend like $200 more than it actually should cost. But the nice part about that though is that if it does go way down, and like say like one of my friends wants it or something, I can just get it for them. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, there's that. I like collector's editions a lot. So like, I'm sad that like we might not be seeing them as much, considering that a lot of people are saying that they want things to go digital. That's my reason for why I don't want things to go completely digital, or if at least they could do like
well, for like collectors on PC, I think it's like they send you the code in it. And
I think that's what they're going to start doing. I think
that's what I was going to say, actually, because that's exactly what it is with Kingdoms of Amalur. Because Rory and I both got the collector's edition for PC, but obviously it wouldn't come in disc because most gamers now don't have disc
CD
drives.
Yeah,
they don't have disc drives at all in their PCs. So what would be the point in doing that? So it's probably going to be a download code, and then along with that, just all the collector stuff. That's what I'm hoping they'll start doing instead, because I like the collector stuff still. You know, like I just like them.
I don't think they're going to stop doing the collector stuff. I think they're going to do the digital thing, and I think like Zippy said it before. Me and Zippy were talking about the PS5 design, and he was like, it literally looks like they designed it with the digital only one, and then someone was like, this needs to have a disk drive, and they were like, oh yeah, put a disk drive there, or on the side, right? Like yeah, literally. The oh, that would be pretty cool, actually, Ice.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea. That's a good idea. I know we had some news stories we wanted to get to in it.
Real quick, I was gonna ask. So, when Ghost of Tsushima comes out, are you just gonna like focus that game heavily when it? I've
been enjoying alternating it. I think it helps to alternate a bit, but I don't know. I'll make an exception for it because I think typically I've been doing more like Dead Space and horror games on Saturday, but I think I might be switching that up just a little bit.
She might do Ghost of Tsushima on Saturday, and then
Karen doesn't like when I alternate games because she's like, you forget. No, I thought it worked out. I mean, obviously, like it would take me like 10 or 15 minutes to remember how to use like the Dead Space controls after not using it for a week, but
you are not beating me. You are not beating this one before me. It's not going to happen. I'm going to watch these streams. I'm going to get and beat the game before you do, so I can watch your stream again.
when you got back on Monster, you were like,
it didn't
take you that long to like remember how to do stuff.
No, like Trevor, like I started playing Monster Hunter again this week, and Trevor was like, we probably should warm up in the arena. I was like, you're right. And I like, what was the first thing we fought?
I think it was a Raytheon or something.
A Raytheon, and I was like, I forget how to swing this hammer. I forget how to run. I forget all of my training. But literally, it's been 4 months. I think that was the last time I played it. So
yeah, the last time she played was like pre-COVID, I think.
Oh man, I know that was the last time I played too. I think because the last time I played was when I played with all of you guys too. Once I get my new PC all put together, I'll be able to play more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I was going through the group DM for like photos to make cards of things, I found that one picture again where that one bug paralyzed all of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I remember that. That was hilarious.
That was a great day. Oh my god, that was good.
When was the last time I played Overwatch? Like maybe a couple months.
You do need to. Well, I don't think it's been Has it been a couple months? I think it's been like maybe a month.
Maybe a month. I think would be more to the tune. I would guess.
I feel it's different because there's like different heroes and skill level. So like you can like pick up Bastion and just like play that and like you never left.
That's actually a good point. I should just play Bastion when I take a 3 month.
I think with Overwatch 2, it's knowledge based and positioning based more so than it's like, well, depending on who you play. That's like, yeah, you might be a little rusty with McCree if you come back after a while, but like if you play a hero that's more focused on positioning and mobility meta, then that's not stuff you often forget.
If you're your girl Mercy man like Rory and Karen, you just like never forget.
I don't play aiming characters though, to be fair. I just do the ones that, Moira, just launch the orbs. in general proximity of people that need healing.
I've set her on the trend of
Oh, thank you.
I've set her on the trend of if you want healing, you're throwing out find the orb.
Yeah.
I've been playing as Brigitte lately, and I've been enjoying that. She even got nerfed. Yeah, she even got nerfed, and
didn't affect you at all.
Didn't even affect me. I was like, oh god, I hate this. And then I started playing.
You would have noticed before if like you had played without knowing. You know what I mean?
That's what I do generally in Overwatch. Is I wait till they nerf a character, and then I'm like, I want to play this one now. Now that everybody hates it. Yeah. That was the first time I played Brig, was after they like nerfed her. It was like last year, and everybody's like, "Oh, Brig sucks now." Like now it's my time to shine.
One of the first Brig nerfs. That's a constant, ongoing process with Blizzard.
It was really funny too because we had played Overwatch for the first time like maybe a week ago at the time. Like it was whenever the nerf happened, and so we were all playing, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna play as Brig. I want to see like how bad this nerf is going to affect me." And so we were playing, and I got, I think, 4 golds that game, and I was like, well, so the Brig nerf hasn't affected me enough.
Yeah, I wasn't around during those days.
5-man reses, yeah, oh my god.
I didn't play until after. I came in after that. Like,
yeah, I think all of us did.
5-man res.
We only played like a year ago.
The 5-man res thing, like, because I always know that people would, like, there would be some, like, Junkrats who would wait when, like, the Mercy would use, like, their 5-man res for her ult, and then he would just, whoever would be playing Junkrat would just use his ult and just get all of them dead all over again. That one's pretty good.
That's true.
Look,
that is very true, actually.
Mistakes were made.
Well, can you imagine if they had to do the Paladins thing, where not only because like you can't customize the heroes in Overwatch at all. Imagine if Blizzard had to make
like individual skills. Yeah.
Every hero.
They're doing that though. They're doing that. They're doing that in 2.
Are they doing it for the comp though, or just for the single?
No,
play?
I think it's just for the story missions.
Okay, yeah. Okay. In that case, balance. You can be overpowered in the story.
Yeah. Just hack the Mercy. She can't do
it. So Trev, talk about Sony and what they're doing right now with PlayStation 5 production to us.
So what's funny is that like 10 minutes ago I had forgotten the link I posted. Like over the course of talking, I was like, oh right. I was like, that's the one I posted. So there was a huge, like, I don't know if it was a rumor, if it was like an actual official statement from Sony when they were announcing the PS5, but they were saying that they were limiting the quantity made at launch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying there was an update that I think they're doubling it, is what the link said.
Yeah.
So I think
that's
they're
right.
expecting twice as many people to buy it on launch.
Let me post the article.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what changed. Like, I wonder what changed in the research from when they made the original statement. Thank you, Melly.
Maybe it's because they saw how everyone was like picking up PS4s or whatever, and in this time of the pandemic, and they're like, oh fuck, like if we're still in this, like we might as well make twice as much.
I mean, I'm glad because this is going to make it easier to get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I was kind of worried. I was like, I wonder how fast these are gonna sell out.
It's like it's historically been pretty hard to get one like before the first Christmas. Like after a Sony console comes out, they come out in November, and then like it could be tough. Like it was, like I didn't succeed at getting a PS4 until after Christmas. Like it took a long time for me to find a PS4 back at the time.
I think I got mine in when did it come out? 2014?
2014, 2015, I think. Like between there, I think it was like transitioning.
I think it might have been 2014. I think I got mine in 2015 because my brother had gotten one. And then I think I got mine like maybe like 6 months later or something, maybe a year later.
Same. I know I didn't get it on launch, but I know I got it not a year after, but like between a year and like half a year. Did we confirm? I don't know if we confirmed the leak I sent you, the one that was in French or whatever. Because like that was what. That was around, I think...
Yeah, Trev sent me a link, like a French leak. I want to say it was 4 something was the leak, like maybe 420 was the leak you sent me, which is about, it should be around 450. The production cost is supposedly around 450, based on estimates. But those estimates they're real estimates, you know what I mean? Like, big margin of error on those.
Hopefully it's only slightly more expensive.
No.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, far away.
My power supply got shipped.
Oh, that's terrific!
Did the original one you got?
That was on backorder. Yeah.
The original one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. So all the parts will be there soon. I can't wait.
And so let's see. So let me see.
Have you watched the Verge video on how to build PCs here?
Do not. No. Don't even joke about it. My processor also got shipped, and I have everything else. All the other stuff is like sitting over there. I got my case. I got everything. I'm so excited.
Nothing still the production costs. Well, explain the PS4s then, because I'm pretty sure the production costs of PS4s are a lot more, and then they sold for like 30.
Not a lot of things sell at production cost, but the PS4 sold barely above production cost, like barely above.
Because they're thinking on a grander scale, they'll make more money if they. So, I forget there's like a term for it, but
there's 2 things happening here. One is that the 450 is an estimate. Based off, and it's a crude estimate at that, because there's a lot of stuff in the PS5 that I don't want to say is just in the PS5, but is unique in combination to the PS5. And then there's the, so you take the 450 with a margin of error, and then assume that they'll sell around that.
Okay, I got a question. So we really don't know what drove them to double production. It's just they must be getting some information that there's more demand, and so
maybe.
I imagine it's just like the increase in like orders for other stuff. Maybe like they pulled demographics where like, oh, twice as many people try to order.
My wonder also on part of it could also be, I mean, because it's not just the United States here, but I know that a lot of other places are doing fine with COVID at the moment, but part of it could also be like, because remember what happened with the Nintendo Switch during quarantine? How
no one could find one for...
Everybody was buying a Switch because they had nothing to do and hi Crepe! And they wanted to...
It's just demand for video games in general are going up because of COVID.
And I wonder if that's going to be part of it too, because especially with right now, some experts are saying that they are expecting like a huge upsurge of COVID coming in like the fall and winter months. So I wouldn't be surprised if part of it was because of that either. I mean, I don't want to say that it's because of COVID, because I don't want anything worse to happen with COVID at the moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was part of that too, because it would be pretty easy for them then to get a lot of people to buy their systems.
I know, like, another indicator was that I know that release weekend Last of Us Part 2 surpassed Uncharted 4's sales for the opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I think they see the traction of
pretty,
games.
that's probably a huge indicator as
so
well.
they're like, we need to do something about it. Because I don't know the sales on Ghost of Tsushima yet, but I imagine if their numbers are just skyrocketing. And
I'm positive it's going to go up, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people right now, because obviously I'm not saying anything bad about The Last of Us, but there's been so many people who've had issues with The Last of Us that maybe there's a lot of them that are like, oh, well, I'm going to get Ghost of Tsushima, that one's going to be so much better. Either have that attitude or more so be like, I hated The Last of Us Part 2 so much. The Ghost of Tsushima better be good, so I'm gonna get it to buy it to make sure that it's good or not. Like that kind of mentality, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened too with it.
And,
I mean, it looks
another
good,
thing
though.
might be because we know, Cyberpunk's been delayed 3 times, 3, 4. It's
3.
been delayed a lot.
No, twice.
Okay, well, it's at least 2 because I know of 2 immediately off the bat. I know of the delay till September, and then I know of the further delay till November.
I think it was 2 because
Currently Valhalla and Cyberpunk are set to release like within the
on
same.
the same day.
Well, I think that
No,
I
it's
think
the 19th
That's a
and the
terrible
7th.
idea for Ubisoft.
truthfully, I think it's because they're going to be basically launch titles for
Yeah,
that. Even though the
that's-
PS5 doesn't have an official release date
That's
yet.
the point I'm making, is that like they're pushing it back to be that day, and then if they're releasing all these brand new consoles at once, they want people to buy the PS5 with the new games and not have to
Kirky, are
buy
you
it
talking
twice.
about Kirky, are you talking about Dying Light 2 also? Because I know that they've been having a huge issue with Dying Light 2, because that one's basically been pushed back indefinitely.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kirky, wasn't Chris Avellone writing that game?
I'd heard nothing about it either, because like didn't the
I-
first one come out?
Do you want to know the only thing I heard about it was that Chris Avellone was writing it. So if you don't know Chris
Oh.
Avellone, he's done a bunch of work with Obsidian. He worked on Fallout and Planescape and stuff like that. Very classic CRPG writing. Ubi shot themselves in the foot twice by doing that. Now they're attempting to compete with Cyberpunk, which that Gearbox game, that was you're looking for Battleborn, Zippy. That is Battleborn is the game you're looking for. Which by all accounts,
I've not heard about that game since since it came out.
Arwen, Morgan, you were about to say something?
Also, Dying Light came out in 2015, so that's when the
Yeah,
first
I
Dying
was
Light
gonna say, I was like, I haven't heard anything about it since the last time
Well,
I talked to somebody
since I mean, with working at a game store, I got to hear a lot of stuff about this. It's actually kind of unfortunate because they did like this big event for Dying Light. I mean, now it's been a while, maybe a year ago, maybe I think. But the thing is, I always had a lot of people saying like, "Well, this game comes out this day, right?" Because they'll see that it says like December 31st, and then a year. And just so everybody knows, also like
Those
who's in
are
here.
placeholders. Those aren't actually
Exactly. If you just so you guys know, if you ever see a release date that says 12/31 and then a year, like next year or the year after or that year, it's just a placeholder date. It does not come out on that day. I actually had a kid come in to my store one time on December 31st, and he was like, "I'm here to pick up Final Fantasy." This was years ago, by the way. It was years ago. He's like, "I'm here to pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake," and I was like, "Dude, that's not out yet." It was years ago, guys. And he was like, "Yes, it is. It says on the website that comes out December 31st." And I was like, "Yo, that's not out. That game is not out. Like, listen, I'm so sorry." But yeah, it's been. I remember a lot. It was actually kind of sad because I always had a lot of people coming in and asking about Dying Light 2. Like, they had pre-orders and everything, and I had to tell one person who was like, "Hey, so like, have you heard anything else about Dying Light 2? I've had a pre-order for a long time," and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That got delayed indefinitely. They have no idea what's going on with it." I feel really bad for fans too, because that's never a nice thing that you want to hear about. You know, a game that you're excited for that gets that's getting either delayed or canceled. Yeah, Melly, what's the next Final Fantasy that you're gonna do?
That's a really good question. I do have Final Fantasy.
You should do 15.
right
15
now.
is great.
15's good. I think you'd enjoy. I think you'd even enjoy 10. And
had-
Hey, Rolf, how are you? It's good to see you.
Somebody anonymously gifted it to me, so it will be. You can't watch 15 because you haven't played it.
Have you not played it? Karen, get on it. What are you doing?
you haven't played 15,
Karen.
really, Karen? I'm surprised. Is there a
You
reason?
can play it. You can play it.
It
Oh,
doesn't
you
matter.
haven't.
I heard a lot of people were disappointed with it, so I feel like you'd be fine.
I have it in 2 forms. I have it on PS4 and on PC, so I'm ready to go.
I wouldn't know. Right for that.
Morgan gifted it to me on PC.
I need to ask questions beforehand. Like, I need to start probing people more often. Like, I'll just be like, I want to get this person a thing.
I
They
almost
already have.
bought it on PC again, just because I kind of wanted to play it after I played 7, and I was like, nah. I was like, it's fine.
I almost gave Morgan the same game as a gift twice the other
It's a
day.
good thing he asked me about it too.
But I asked first, I was like, are you planning on getting this? And you were like, you bought it for me. I was like, oh, yeah, I did.
You were just never motivated to play it. I liked it. I don't want to say anything though because of spoilers. Because now that I know that Karen has not played it, but like especially for that and Melly, so I don't want to say anything more. But I enjoyed it. I can even say the PlayStation 4 that I actually currently have is Final Fantasy 15 themed. I'm a little disappointed
I remember
in
certain things in that game. I don't remember everything.
the only thing that I was disappointed in is here. 1 second. Let's see if I can actually grab it. So the controller's fine and all, but the system's actually really pretty. It has like an etched moon on the top of it, but this is really dusty because I haven't used this one in a while. Because it got a little bit messed up because it's kind of old. But the only thing that made it Final Fantasy was
The logo,
this.
yeah. I remember
That's all it
you
was.
bringing that up. Because it's not
I was
like
kind of sad about that.
It's not like the Monster Hunter one that's like...
No, it's not cool
it's
or
got,
anything,
like,
you know.
The Rathalos wings and like the emblem.
Now the system was cool because like even though you can't see it all that well because it's black, but it has like Final Fantasy 15 on it. It has some like other like writing on it, and it has a moon like a moon etched into it. So that was really cool. But at the time, like I thought it was neat. I actually should have just gotten myself a PS4 Pro and then just gotten the deluxe edition of it. The movie was pretty good though. I liked the movie a lot too.
There was a movie?
Yeah, actually, it's recommended that you watch the Kingsglaive movie before you actually play the game, which I did.
That was
Hey, look
like
who's here!
3 years ago. not
Oh,
3
damn.
years
Oh,
ago.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. Let me do a caster for Megan here. Everyone, if you're here and for whatever reason you don't follow Megan, you've made a mistake. Go fix your mistake right now by clicking that link and following Megan, okay? Megan has actually been a guest on this podcast before, and one day will again, because that's the contract we get people to sign.
And
legal binding.
if you want to
Oh,
watch
yeah,
it,
I was gonna do it.
it's actually right
yeah,
here.
that's right. We have the previous
I
episodes.
still need to
on
update the
YouTube.
panel because like I need to. It's still got our old shit on it.
Yeah, it used to be that you'd have to watch the VODs if you were Kilroy, but now Kilroy can watch us on YouTube like a sane person, instead of having to watch Twitch VODs because we all know how.
And
bad
you
that
should
is.
all go watch the Yu-Gi-Oh playlist because
The Yu-Gi-Oh series.
I made this tweet on the streamers Become Human account. The best viewed, like in terms of views, likes, comments, everything. The best videos are the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. And I said, all right, I guess we're moving forward. We're only gonna do Yu-Gi-Oh because nobody cares about our podcast. They only want the Yu-Gi-Oh content.
If for some reason, hey Eric, how are you? If for some reason, if you've come here for the first time and you weren't here for Megan's appearance, we're Streamers Become Human. We're a podcast every Wednesday at roughly 9 Eastern.
See, what would be great is instead of explaining this, I could hit a button and then it would switch us to the channel trailer and then it would switch us back.
So
I'm still missing
sorry.
pieces for that.
I'm sorry.
the gentleman complaining in the top left is Trev, and he runs the show around here. He does all the graphic design for the podcast. On the bottom left is Melly, one of Twitch's best variety casters. I highly recommend her channel. You can find links to all our channels down below. In the top right is the beautiful, amazing, talented, and my favorite person in the world, Mapsio Morgan, or Morgan. And on the bottom right is obviously me, the one who's speaking right now, and my name's Rory. And you can, like I say, down below in like the about, you can find all
Those
the
introductions went from
links and
like
such.
here to here to here to here, and then it was like.
Yeah, they went kind of all over the place. Yeah. The Zeph,
know
don't
what?
worry.
I'm gonna
Lots of
move
people
over
have
so you can see it more.
for that, to Trev for that today.
There's 2, all right, in case you didn't know.
But yeah, welcome everybody. We were talking about what Final Fantasy we think Melly should play next, and we said Final Fantasy 15. But I honestly, Mel, I think for those ones, I think you actually might get a lot of enjoyment out of Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2. I know a lot of people have their issues with it. I still need to actually play that one. But Final Fantasy IX is really good too. I think you'd actually really enjoy that one. I don't know what it is with Final Fantasy IX. It's my cousin's favorite. It's my brother's favorite. I haven't played all the way through it, but I really loved it. I think you'd really enjoy that.
What's the one with Blitzball?
Blitzball is Final Fantasy
X,
X.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Final Fantasy X and 10 too.
Is that the deciding factor? Is which one has
That's
it?
the only reason. You're like, fuck yeah. That reminds me of. I don't know if you know
Kaiser.
the Kingdom
Kaiser's
Hearts
here.
game.
Kaiser!
I agree with Kaiser.
Kaiser, by the way, I did buy Skyrim on the Steam Summer Sale. I'm just tossing it out there.
In one of the Kingdom Hearts games, there's like it's like a version of Blitzball. You go around and like I don't remember the mini game, but like Tiff played it, and I was like, this is the only content you need on the stream.
Which Kingdom Hearts was it?
It was one of the ones where you play as not Roxas, but what's his name? I forget their names. It was the one with Aqua.
Oh, that's Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, it was like
So it's
you dealt with Donald Duck's cousins or whatever.
Okay, so you mean wait, his cousins? Do you mean his nephews?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
No, me and Trev both watched Tiff play all of those games.
We played all of them,
and I don't remember any.
We have no.
It was
idea
like 30 hours. I don't know anything that happened, and I don't know who any of the characters are.
I really wish I had been there to watch her play Kingdom Hearts, but I was really happy that I was so happy about this. Like, Melly was the one that introduced me to Tiff in the first place. Like, she just messaged me and it's like, hey, there's this person named Talaria that you might really like. And so I was like, hey, cool. I followed her. The first thing that she plays, that she plays on stream after I follow her is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And that's one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games of all time. And I was like, yo, this is sick! And that's how I got into that community. I was so happy. Thank you so much, Melly.
I got you.
Melly, I have a question for you.
Ooh.
You gotta redeem it in the thing.
You went.
Trevor.
So, the other night, me and Morgan were watching the Ubisoft conference, which we watched a little later than it happened because
that.
one of us had a stream. It was me or Morgan that had I think it was me actually who was streaming that night. So we tend to watch those gaming events that night. But I understand that you actually watched it live.
We had Yu-Gi-Oh? No, we
had Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
We were doing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was talking to Trev, and Trev was like, Melly's watching the conference. I was like, I'll just avoid her because I don't want spoilers. But now I've seen it, so tell us about your favorite things, and tell us about the people who wrote this article's favorite things.
Okay, so obviously the main reason I was wanting to watch this was to just watch the Valhalla content. I mean, I know it had leaked the week before, but
I thought you were going to get Watch Dogs 2.
Hey, Smokey, how are you?
No, I like on principle, I like to avoid leaks just because I'm like, I just want to watch this.
I do the same thing.
Intended for me to watch this, and not because there's a leak. So
because I had heard about when Kingdoms of Amalur got leaked, all I did was I said to Rory, "Oh my gosh, apparently there's going to be a Kingdoms of Amalur remake." That was all I looked into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been much since then, but
there hasn't been a lot of massive. They've told us something, but we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, so that was what I was most interested in. Was the Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So far, what are you kind of most excited about Valhalla? I mean, because I know with the newer Assassin's Creeds that they're more RPG-ish. Like, a lot of people were saying that it's very reminiscent of Odyssey. Do you agree with that?
Let me see. So one of the things I'm actually looking forward to is being able. They're bringing back some of the mechanics from some of the earlier games, like the crowd
blending and
Yeah, I really like that. I was disappointed that wasn't part of Odyssey.
You're right, huh? Yeah, actually, you're right.
So they're bringing back that. I think there's some other fun touches. I think they're adding randomly. There's gonna be fishing and rap battles.
Yeah,
they're calling it.
I'm only getting it for the rap battles, just to be clear.
I know.
Technically, I already own it. Thank you, New and my processor.
But it was interesting because I was actually super hyped when they first dropped the original trailer. What was it, a couple months ago?
I think so.
I'm excited for those mechanics to come back. I will say the gameplay didn't like make me more excited about it, but it didn't like take away excitement. It was just kind of like reinforcing, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this game for sure. I do think it's gonna be interesting. Like you're gonna be able to switch between the male and female version of the main character, which
on the fly, which is really interesting.
Yeah, Trevor, were you the one who said that earlier? Where, like, it makes sense because, like...
Oh, yeah, because they're in an anime.
Or was it Eric?
computer.
Maybe it was Eric.
I reiterated what Eric said.
Zippy, you got your lore correct, by the way. I don't drink. Just to answer Zippy's... He redeemed a question for Rory. Does Rory drink? No, I don't drink, actually. Your lore is good, Zippy. Well done.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for Valhalla. I do want to finish Assassin's Creed Origins at some point before that game comes out. So I've got a few months because I started that one but never finished it.
I don't know if... Well, I assume if all of you watched the Ubisoft thing and that you saw the gameplay, and like, I thought there were aspects of The Witcher in there, like with the horse riding and like just like the way the camera looked and like how the gameplay took place and stuff. It was just like...
There's some interesting mechanics there too. I think there's like a stun feature where you can stun. There's like a double axe throw, which will be kind of fun. Yeah, so I'm excited about it. The other thing that I was like sort of surprised by was the trailer for Far Cry 6. So I actually have never played a Far Cry game, and there wasn't any gameplay for it. But like the cinematic was really interesting. Mostly because of the actor cast in it, Giancarlo Esposito. I
really
enjoy that actor so much, and like I'm excited about him being in it. And again, knowing nothing about Far Cry, never having played one.
Oh, you've never played a Far Cry at all?
No, never played a Far Cry game. This one actually made me intrigued. So I think that was the most surprising thing about...
You should probably go back and play 3.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Well, 3 was universally loved.
The best.
Like, I mean, it does have a bit of Resident Evil 4 syndrome, where it changed what the series wanted to be after that. But it's basically a universally loved game.
Yeah. So that was the biggest surprise for me. Was like it got me intrigued into a series that I never really had been interested to play before. So there's that. I mean, again, there was no gameplay displayed from it, but the cinematic I think was super interesting.
Also, big shout out. They brought back the Hidden Blades, which was missing from Odyssey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Was like a staple in the game forever, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I feel like I think they took some of the criticism from like Odyssey, which was some of like it's increasingly losing some of the
core elements for Assassin's Creed
for stealth, for assassins for stealth, and I think they're trying to reincorporate some of those. So I'm definitely interested in that part of it.
It seems very interesting. Sorry.
I was just sad they didn't show more for all the words that the man said about stealth. They didn't show a lot of stealth. He's like, Vikings were masters of stealth, and then he showed a guy like being stabbed through the face at point blank range with like a knife, and I was like, oh yes, this stealth kill.
That was actually one of my
facing each other on the battlefield, and one guy stabs another guy in the face.
That's one of my favorite things too, actually, because even though like this absolutely could have happened in terms of history, but one of the things about Vikings, the reason why they were dubbed barbarians is because they were very upfront about what they wanted when they did. So I don't remember them being much for stealthy, but it's a cool concept anyway.
Yeah, like were they stealthy?
I feel like there were a lot of like pillaging and like looting and stuff and like being loud.
Okay, one mechanic that I'm concerned doesn't make it in is romancing. I was like, where's the ability to bang in this game? I didn't see that highlighted. So that's
it's gotta be like Mellibang approved, basically.
That was a glaring omission. So I don't know about that.
It actually looks really interesting.
And I was like, all right, you can only hit one person. Never mind.
The thing is, like, it was such a distinct thing about Odyssey though, because that made sense within the culture. So like, I don't really know if it's gonna be making sense for this one. I just like.
It'll be interesting. I wonder if like maybe there will be like a romance type system where you do actually pick one person, I guess. I mean, because in terms of like the settlements that they were doing, it seems pretty interesting actually. It does seem very RPG, a lot more RPG like now though.
I do like the idea of having a base. Like that's something that Odyssey also didn't really have, was like having
Like a place to go back
base
to.
where you can upgrade. Yeah, so there's like a settlement feature where
kind
you
of
can.
did in Brotherhood, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was like the core of Brotherhood.
What was the other Assassin's Creed game that had that though?
I think Revelations, maybe.
No, there was like a newer one.
A newer one.
Yeah. Oh god, I see it in my. Was it Unity? Yeah,
Syndicate?
it was Unity. Or Syndicate. Yeah, it was either Unity or Syndicate.
I think it was
you could upgrade
Syndicate.
houses in Syndicate. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could do
like,
that in
Yeah.
Syndicate.
I think it was
Yeah.
like you paid for them or something. You had to like.
A lot of it was
It was like gang.
taking
fights and
back
stuff.
bases from like it was like in gang wars and stuff like that. Like you'd like take over areas
That's
basically.
right. That's right.
I need to play more of that one.
The train.
Yeah, the
That was right. The
train.
train. That's
That was
right.
it. Richard, thank you
Good to
so
see
much.
I liked having a home base. Like I like that.
Yeah.
Like that idea. So I'm glad they're bringing back some of that.
I just like how like in the train and the thing like it was just like
Wasn't
why
that,
is this guy just going in circles?
I can see it in my mind's eye. Like it was an actual building.
I can remember playing Syndicate and just sitting, and I was like, I don't feel like going all the way across town. I just sat
You
on the
just waited
train.
until it dropped you
Just-
off. And I was like, "Alright."
I would play my 3DS or something stupid.
Ship battles. I
Oh.
love
There
ship
was
battles.
AC
That's why-
1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey. And then there was Liberations and I think some other one.
That's another thing. I'm excited to bring like the pillaging aspect back, which I really enjoyed from Black Flag. Like just pillage, like attacking and pillaging the forts. It seems like that's going to be.
I wonder.
Like there's naval battles in Odyssey, but it wasn't really like you were attacking a fort. It was just kind of like there's naval battles. So I think it'll be interesting to have that.
If you really want naval battles, the best one is Black Flag by far.
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed Black Flag.
I wonder what kind of social system they're going to have in this too, because one of the things about the Viking culture is that they were very tight knit, also in terms of their settlements. So it actually does make me wonder if like you could get like married or something, or if you will at one point have like some kind of family. It does make me wonder about that. Or just like what the social system will be like if you'll see like it'll be like a little bit more elaborate, I guess, than even what what Odyssey had. That'd be interesting. Like having like a companion or something to like walk around with. And that may make it a little bit harder though in terms of like the Assassin's Creed feel of it though. I mean, did they do that sometimes with Syndicate? I actually don't remember because it's been so many years since I played it.
What's
Not like a social system, but like having somebody to walk around with and like
No,
there was
fight
like
with. I don't think so. Now that I
you
think
met
about it.
with people.
Yeah, maybe that's
You
what
could
I'm
do like
thinking of.
upgrades. Like in 2, you could like meet up with Leonardo da Vinci and like do the upgrade stuff, and he'd join you. But
I
don't.
still need to play too. That's another one. I need.
Did
to
you get it
play.
for free? It was on. It was free
Yeah,
on
I own it.
Ubisoft.
I own it. First one was great, but it was rough. Yeah, if I'm gonna play any one of the original trilogy, 2 is the one I need to play, right? That's usually what everybody's favorite one is.
10 minutes of trying to pickpocket tutorial and I gave up.
I love in the older ones how like you just throw change at people. I thought that was the most insulting thing ever. It was just like, ugh.
Oh, I liked pickpocketing in Syndicate. That was fun.
Ubisoft also showed a battle royale game.
Hyperscape.
Okay, so
Right.
Yes.
yeah, Hyperscape. So
I have access to that.
I don't like. I'm not interested in this game at all because it's just not my thing. But
Okay,
I did find
one
it.
quick
yeah?
thing before you go on this. You know how we have the emote, kind of like Dark Souls. I feel
Yes,
like
yeah.
a lot of games or like battle royales or like shooter games now are using the phrase "this is kind of like Overwatch." Is that becoming the new? This is kind of like Dark Souls in the FPS aspect.
Well,
That's certainly the case with Valorant, where everybody's like, it's CS:GO meets Overwatch.
But the thing is, what's interesting is that I almost never think that the comparison that people always make, because Melly's right, people always say it, and I almost never think it's warranted. Like, I think it's a real mischaracterization. Like, because when people talk about Valorant, they always say, like Melly says, they say it's CS:GO meets Overwatch. It's the tiniest bit of Overwatch.
Or
It's
it's like a superficial analogy.
That'd be
I don't think it actually means anything for the gameplay.
describing Siege is like, oh yeah, it's shooters, and like Overwatch is like, well yeah, everyone
Yeah,
does
exactly.
something different, but like that's not.
Yeah, but that's not,
like-
and
it's
it's not even, it's not unique to Overwatch in any way.
Yeah.
It doesn't describe, like, a CS:GO player could probably adapt to Valorant, an Overwatch player cannot. Like, if that's all you play, like, you're gonna have a much harder learning curve. And I don't even like it when people say, like, Paladins is like Overwatch, even though they're both hero shooters with, like, move the cart gameplay, because the customizability in Paladins it effectively makes it a completely different game. You know, and I think that's good for Overwatch too, because I think Overwatch honestly does have, even though Overwatch is essentially a recombination of other things from other games. There's almost no unique mechanics in Overwatch. Its identity lies in its unique combination of mechanics that already existed, right? Like, and I think that that's a space that it rightfully owns. But I agree with you, Trev, that I think now it's become the new hot thing for everyone to say everything's like Overwatch. And just like the Dark Souls comparison, it's almost never true.
Yeah. Because, like, at first, people were like, oh, yeah, Monster Hunter World. It's kind of like Dark Souls. Like, just because you have a stamina bar does not mean it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Isn't that what people say about Dauntless? It's like, it's Monster Hunter World meets Overwatch. Or no, wait. Maybe it's
Fortnite graphics.
Oh, Fortnite.
Hunter.
Yeah, that's right.
And to be honest, like, when I actually first saw Hyperscape, the first thing that popped in my head was actually Apex. Reminded me a lot of Apex.
And I think, so the thing is, even though I'm not going to play this Battle Royale because it doesn't appeal to me, I will say this about it. It did bother me during the presentation that they were trying to sell, like, the lore of it. Like, being like, oh, like, you know, it's a future and technology's taken over and everybody lives in a space and there's this VR game. Like, it's Ready Player One. Just fucking say, hey, we took the shit from Ready Player One and we rebranded it into a game now. Like,
and let me tell you, I played for like 15 minutes. There were no abilities. There were, but like they weren't like abilities that you would think. Like, you got to pick them up and then like use them. And
I feel like with that much lore, also, I feel like it would have just been better suited to be an actual game, like an actual not first person, because it is in first person, like an actual like one player, single player. Thank you. Sorry. Like just I think it would have been better suited as a single player game at that point if it had like that much lore like going along with it. Just seemed like a storyline, you know, where like something happens, like you know, there's bad stuff happening out in the world, so all these people go into the hyperscape to escape it. But then something bad happens in the hyperscape, like you can't get out or something. Like
hyperscape in the hyperscape. So
there's a really good talk. There's a really good GDC talk on what makes a good game pitch. And the thing the guy brings up, he's worked for Sony in lots of games where he evaluated pitches. And the thing he brings up is 100% true. He said, "Don't tell me about your universe. No one buys a game for the universe unless it's that kind of game, like it's like, you know, Skyrim or whatever, right? Or an Elder Scrolls game." He's like, "Tell me what your game looks like moment to moment gameplay wise. Like, what does it actually look like to play it?" People aren't going to buy a battle royale because of the lore, especially when the lore is this like derivative. Like, it's like a classic thing, right? Everything's set in the future. Oh, it's a game set in the future and there's a lot of technology. It's like, let me guess, it's bad. Things are bad and people are having hard lives. You know what I mean? Like, it's so typical, right?
This is the thing too that I have a bit of an issue with it, because it does sound like a cool concept, because it, you know, it is like, it's very much like Ready Player One. I liked that movie. It was pretty good. I've only seen it once, but the thing about it that bothers me though is like what Rory just said too, because you can be like, okay, so this is the lore, this is the universe, it's all this big amazing stuff happening in this tiny like virtual world because all this bad stuff is happening all around us, and like people are doing stuff in the game and stuff, and then it's like, okay, so what's the gameplay? It's a multiplayer battle royale. And it's like, why are you giving me all of this extra stuff just to tell me that it's a multiplayer battle royale and that's all you got?
That's another thing. It's like they're trying to sell these battle royale games now with like something that looks like a campaign, and it's like, it's not. Like, it's just a battle royale. Just like sell it as a battle royale. It's like, don't.
Yeah.
Don't try to make
Exactly.
it something it's not.
Tell me what happens when you. How do you come back when you die? Like, do you turn into a chicken, or do you have to fight
Yeah.
the gulag? Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of like? Let me place this in the like realm of what other battle royales exist. Like, I don't know. I thought it was weird. It was weird to me that they tried to sell the game the same way they tried to sell an actual single player game like Watch Dogs Legion.
That's
basically.
really did what it seemed. Actually, yeah, it kind of seemed. That's actually a good comparison because there is a like they're going along with the universe. Actually, in that that does actually warrant talking about the universe building in that one because in Watch Dogs Legion, like you can recruit pretty much anybody in that game. Like that's really interesting, you know. Like and there's this whole big open world of that. But versus like it's like we were just talking about Fortnite, like what Fortnite was gonna be. So it's kind of like they're talking about like okay, so basically the universe around the game is that you build a fort and you survive for 2 weeks. That's why we call it Fortnite. And it's like okay, so what's the gameplay? And it's like it's a battle royale that you play for 10 minutes at a time. And it's like what? I mean I'm not saying that those kinds of games are bad by any means because they can still be fun, right? But I just have an issue when it does come to universe and lore building because why are you giving me all of this cool stuff? Like where I could play a game like The Witcher, you know, like you're telling me all this lore, all of this universe stuff like that could go inside a book and I could read about it like on wikias and have a lot of fun with it and find these characters in this world. And then it turns out that none of that actually does show up except for just to read about and that's it. Like because how would you like Melly? You spent so much time on The Witcher. I mean, I'm sure you would have thought that all of the lore and everything would be cool, but it probably wouldn't have impacted you all that much if it had just turned out to be a multiplayer game. I'm sure.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah. I thought it would be cool to have a multiplayer aspect to it. But
Well, multiplayer would be really cool, but I mean, like in the way that's just like if it was just a battle royale, for example.
I mean that, yeah.
Because I'm sure you probably want to.
I don't think you could do that with that franchise.
Yeah, not with The Witcher, but
yeah, it's built on a story.
Because like you probably want to learn more, right? Because I know there were tons of like points while you were playing that game that you were like, oh, I learned about this small thing. I'd like to learn about this small thing next. You know, like going forward in like a quest or something. You know, like
Yeah,
it just
absolutely.
I read books. I read tomes.
Yeah.
In that game.
Also, because in The Witcher, like, unlike in an Elder Scrolls game, like in Elder Scrolls game, you learn about the world too, but you don't learn about your character. Your character does things and acquires skills, but in The Witcher, you actually learn about Geralt, which is very interesting as well. So, like, you're striving not only to understand the world, but to understand this identity the game is building.
Well, because I think at that point, like, when you have that much lore and, like, that much storyline to go along with it that I can't play, like, I literally can't play through it, just kind of does frustrate me a little bit at times. Because it's like, I want to learn more about these characters. I want to learn more about, like, this world, but I can't because all I can do on this game is just multiplayer stuff. And, like I said, don't get me wrong, like, it's, like, we learn about stuff with Overwatch, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's, like, and sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated with that because it's like I'd love to learn more about like Mercy, you know, or Diva, you know.
That's why we have animated shorts.
See, and at least we have
And
those.
there's a Netflix show coming.
Hi, Lonnie.
soon.
And ideally, Overwatch 2 expands on that.
Well, no, they're making a
tremendous-
Netflix show along with
'Cause
Diablo, right? We covered that news like a couple months.
Oh, there's
ago.
another. Well, there's also a Dragon's.
Dragon's Dogma is now too.
Yeah,
right?
Dragon's
anime.
Dogma too.
Just release the Devil May Cry anime already, will you? Netflix,
dude,
get on.
We've been waiting for that for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
literally.
is.
Trevor's been talking about that like since it like probably like since at
Yeah,
least
the
like
cyberpunk anime that looks so cool.
like
There isn't an animated short for Mercy, is there? I thought there
No,
was.
I've seen them all.
Oh wow! I'm
They-
Well,
surprised.
she's in the
I
new
think-
one. She's
I
in
think
the
there's like
new
a.
one.
I think there's like a fan one, but it's not an official. There's not like.
Well, no, she's in the one that's like the Overwatch 2 one, but that's not really hers. She's just in it. She flies down. I spoiled this in Melody's chat. I was like, I think Mercy comes out of
Oh,
nowhere.
remember
and
that?
Genji
Yeah,
comes out
you said
and-
something about
No,
Genji.
you spoiled Genji showing
Yeah,
up
Genji. That was
5 seconds before he showed up.
I didn't know those leaks were gonna be true. I was just like, oh, supposedly he's supposed to show up now.
we actually have to clue up now. It is getting very close to our ending time. But thank you everybody for joining us. We're gonna be back next week, and
Oh my
I think we have a guest.
Oh
Why?
my
Because he
goodness,
doesn't wear
Eric.
clothes in the first one?
That's the best comment I've seen.
All right, we gotta hop off. It's getting late. Chat's getting out of hand here.
I love this.
Oh, I don't think the person that we were gonna raid is live.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
checked.
that's all right. We can come up with a
okay.
plan B pretty easily.
Big sad.
Well, we can rate our guest from next week. I think is still on.
Oh, I mean, do you see what he's playing?
Oh god, what is it? Tarkov? For those of you who don't know,
Oh, yeah, we can
our
do
host
that.
absolutely hates Tarkov.
Yeah, because she was, I guess, last week.
Do y'all want Siege or Escape from Tarkov?
No, we're doing this one.
Oof. Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us. Like I said, we're gonna be back next week with a guest, and we're really looking forward to seeing you all there.
Also, do streamers become raiders /me, and do any emote that you want?
We're going to need to do a big in a couple weeks. Probably when the next time we have a news podcast, we're probably gonna have to do a lot of Xbox news because the Xbox game show
Oh
will
my
have
god.
happened.
Oh.
And
See?
because
Oh my
it was-
goodness.
Thank God we didn't do whatchamacallit, because
We almost.
they just debated us.
Okay, really quickly before the raid goes through. Hold up. Okay, everybody here, if you're not following Kazler, go fix your mistake and go follow Kazler, okay? Great streamer is actually going to be on the podcast next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kazler's people, welcome to the stream. Where streamers become human. I recommend you tune in next Wednesday because you're going to see your favorite streamer being interviewed on the podcast. It's going to be wonderful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want links to our channels, they're all down below. Thank you everyone for joining. We're rating Mop right now.
Yeah,
She's
like
terrific.
countdown
She was on
going, so.
she was on the podcast last week. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next week, everybody. Take it easy.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Thank you for the podcast. Or thank you for the raid. We're gonna double raid though. All right, thank you for sending us to your people.
So yeah, thank you so much.
All right, bye guys.
That's